Project Leadership Guru with Ravi Bhatia. This is episode 19 of season 2. Topic today is following a path of excellence with focus on process over result. We know that the excessive focus on the end result causes us as humans to take shortcuts, to perhaps deviate from the path of impeccability, as Carlos Castaneda would put it. We have a limited amount of energy, and we need to balance that. And if we focus only on the result and decide that the ends justify the means in projects or in any management endeavor, then we actually sow the seeds for long-term failure. It's been said that managers do things right. They know how to execute. That's very important. But leaders do the right thing. And doing the right thing requires courage and a commitment to doing the right thing, a commitment to serving others and serving our teams and not looking at short-term results. The excessive focus on short-term results has led to catastrophic failure in corporations, in businesses everywhere, and even in governments. So if we truly want to be great at what we do as project leaders, we've got to make sure that we are sincere and that we are faithful to excellence and a process that works, a process that stems from a belief in servant leadership. Tom Peters, the great consultant and project guru, once said that he would look to punish mediocre success, yet he recommended that we reward excellent failure. What he meant was that the people who have the courage to take intelligent risks, knowing that the outcome may not be what they wanted, those are people that should be rewarded for effort, for process, for executing despite knowing that they could fail. Often in business and in projects, project leaders will take shortcuts to attain a guaranteed result. And that means they're really missing the real story behind managing complex projects, which is that there is risk. And project leaders are paid and entrusted with management of that risk, entrusted with working with their teams and serving their teams. There are lots of variables out there in projects, and you're not going to be able to control every one of them. I know as a young project manager, at the end of the day, I would be very stressed out because I knew that my to-do list had perhaps 100 items on it, and maybe I got to tackle 3 or 4. I wasn't sure if I tackled the right ones, and I was very focused on whether or not my actions would lead to the right results. And the inexperience that I had really caused a lot of stress. So if you embark upon a career in project management and project leadership, you'll have to at some point trust your judgment, trust your experience, and if you know that you're doing the right thing, then you really can't be paranoid about the result. What you should be doing is looking to be excellent every day, to do the right things, to empower people, to work with your teams, to communicate. Carlos Castaneda called this impeccability, this intentional focus of our energy. Instead of blaming others or being angry about challenges, to instead choose to focus our attention on the given situation, on dealing with the reality instead of being frustrated by the reality. Leading projects is not easy. But it becomes a lot more difficult if we're looking for shortcuts. So if we follow a path where we're true to the process, to a process where we hold ourselves accountable, we hold our team members accountable, but we serve them and empower them. Project leaders ultimately must take responsibility for failure, and they must share the credit for success. And that, to me, is the great differentiator between a project manager and a project leader. A project leader has to be able to sacrifice for the good of the team, but the process of doing so must entail a path that is the correct path. If we're only looking for the result, we're going to take shortcuts. We're going to cut corners. That's not who we are, and that's not who we want to be as project leaders. Going back on some of the experiences I've had, I recall a time when I was asked to support a cost report that I didn't believe in. And the partner that my company was working with asked me point blank, hey, is this correct? Do you believe in this forecast? You're the project leader. And I said, I don't believe in this forecast. That was a stressful time for me, because I could not, in good conscience, do something that I knew would result in a good short-term result for my company, but in the long term would erode trust, and it really undermined who I was as a person and as a professional. So making those calls is very important. Let's not deviate from the right path, and not take a shortcut or cut corners just because we want to have a good quarterly report, or we want to hide a forecast that has bad news. If you've got bad news, you've got to share it. And if you really do follow this path of impeccability as a project leader, you can't be worried about the negative result, because there will be times when the results are not completely in your favor. And in those times, you will require the ability, the tenacity, and the courage to stand up and say, we did our best as a team, and this is not the result we wanted, but here's what we learned, and here's how we can do it better next time. Because let's face it, if you're not taking some risk out there, whether it be on a project or in a business environment, as a corporate leader, as an engineer, as a team player, you're never going to realize your full potential. So yes, being human means that we take risks, and yes, we sometimes fail. But let's make sure that we follow the path of excellence and impeccability in what we do every day. And if we do that, in the long run, we will succeed. You've been listening to Project Leadership Guru with Ravi Bhatia. Thank you.